So I just,
okay.
I always
That would
say
be
so
awesome.
because then when it's like screams at you, I'm recording this. I'm like, well, okay. So my problem is the whiskey I like the most is like the flavored ones, which that's all
Oh
the,
yeah. So that that
all
has
the fucking sugar.
all
So
the
yeah,
sugar. Yeah.
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 And rum. I love rum. So I'm like, son of a
Rum's
bitch.
good. Yeah.
Like tequila is actually one of the best things a diabetic can drink because the way the agave is distilled, it helps.
Mhm.
It like forces your body to use the insulin you have. But I don't like tequila.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but I just don't. I'm just not a drinker anyway. My biological father was an alcoholic, and so I grew up with him drunk calling us all the time, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't ever something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Well, thank
What
you for
decks are
letting me
you?
reschedule you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I haven't. April and I were like back and forth. We haven't scheduled yet, but like I was like, I just wanted to like feel better. How are you feeling?
I'm good. It's some of it is I didn't get my I'm missing a deck. I was like looking for this deck and I'm like, I don't even have it out. Dumbass. So okay, so this third one, my camera doesn't go low enough, but every time I've been trying to pull a card for this one, they fling out and fall over there. I'm like, all right, then, you selfish ass. So okay. That's just like me. I'm like, son of a bitch. All right. So I'm good. It comes and goes. Like there's some days where I just can't really eat very much. I'm just exhausted. And I had to research a little bit because I thought, okay, well, once it ruptures and that's the pain part. And so no big deal. Yeah. It takes like almost 12 weeks to recover from one. I'm like, that's dumb. Like, I don't have time for that. It's like, that's exactly what I said is that's dumb.
Wow.
So, because I was telling my dad about it and I was like, well, they thought I had kidney stones, but it wasn't. It was this. My dad goes, I think I'd rather have the kidney stones. And after looking at the recovery time, yeah, I think I'd rather have the kidney stones.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I heard those are like one of the most painful things you could have, like kidney stones.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. And I got irritated because when I went to urgent care, they kind of sent me right over to the ER because they didn't have a way to look. And April, of course, gave me the I told you so, like you should have just gone there first. But the triage nurse or the triage nurse practitioner that saw me, I mean, I'm like joking with everybody and so on. And I mean, I can't stand up straight. I can't walk straight. Like I was in a lot of pain, but she made the comment that basically roundabout telling me she thought I was faking. And it kind of pissed me off.
Wow.
She was like, well, if you really had this going on, you'd be in the floor writhing around. And I just told her, I was like, I've had chronic migraines for over 20 years. Okay, I get it. You want to be first. I get it. But I was like, so I have an extremely high pain tolerance. So if I'm here, it's bad. So and I kind of wondered, like it took them forever to get an IV in me. I had to they had to get an ultrasound machine to see where my vein was because it kept I told them, I was like, I'm hard to stick. Yeah, they had to go get an ultrasound machine to find my vein. I think they kind of thought I was faking as well, or just wanting pain. I don't know. And I wasn't asking for pain pills. I'm like, I just want to know what the fuck's wrong. Like, I don't like taking pain pills. They make me a dick. So I don't want to take them. Like, I just want, am I dying? Do I need to be concerned? Can I just go home and sleep? Like, what do I need to do? And so when they came in, they were telling me about that cyst. Like, their whole demeanor changed. And they got me pain medicine real quick and medicines real quick. And I forgot to tell them that I don't like taking morphine because of how it affects me. And so when they shot me up with morphine, I had an interesting reaction to it. So that's going to go on my do not give me list again. So.
Wow. Well, that just like really sucks about TikTok. I mean, that you had to do a live like the day you spent. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah. It is. And I mean, I do understand because you've got people that will schedule and just schedule and cancel, you know what I mean? So I do understand from a business standpoint, but at the same time, like I don't know. So yeah, it does suck. It does suck. I was just, April was getting on to me too. She was like, you are not going to. I'm like, I kind of have to. I kind of have to. So I don't really have a choice.
Wow.
Okay. So how I do these is I take picture and I'll send it to you so that way you'll have it like going back through the recording.
Okay.
Where are you? There you are. No, damn it. Okay, I restarted my phone and I'm like, I'm trying to be patient with you, buddy, but we're gonna go round and round in a minute. I'm just gonna shit talk everything in my life today. I'm like, listen here, what are you doing with your life, sir? Yeah, I may need to make that into a t-shirt. You know, what are you doing with your life right now?
Yeah, you absolutely should.
I literally say it to everything, not just people, like everything. Like, what are you doing with your life right now? They don't have a life, they're cards. Okay. So this, when I do spirit guide readings, I usually draw 3. There's always one that's a little more bossy, and like that one right there, which is, I am making it go last because you're not gonna boss me around. Like, you're going last. But this one here was a little harder to draw for, and I kind of see why. So I already sent you the picture of it, but the first 3 cards for this one is secrecy, and then memory and assistance upside down, and then addiction. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm just going to kind of talk through it because I'm not, this one is a little bit different in that, I don't know. I'm just going to talk through what I see in the cards and go from there. You'll see why when I get to the end, I guess. So this one's a woman. There's a lot of back and forth here, like extreme one way and the other. Like I said, you have the memory upside down, the assistance upside down, and then addiction on the bottom of that. And then their anchor card life-wise is the fire upside down. So what I find interesting is the other cards next to it. And here's what I'm talking about, the extreme back and forth. They have success, and then they have the scarab, and the scarab is eating things away at you, things eating away at you. And then they have the heal thyself card, but then they have river woman upside down. So you have, okay, well, now I'm going to work on my own healing, but at the same time, now I'm drowned. And so it's like an extreme back and forth with this one in particular. And the healing card at the end is upside down. And it's cleansing traumatic experiences. So with this one in particular, there's a lot of bullshit that this one has to overcome, that she has to overcome. And I don't feel like she's ready to even scratch the surface of it.
Can this be somebody like recent? Like, I'm like, when you first started saying all those things, like it definitely sounded like my mom, but she's only been gone like since September 27th of last year. But that's like, I don't know.
I mean, that's personally who I would say this is. That's why I was like, let me talk through this. Let me tell you what all this is saying. And you know what I mean? Like, you tell me who it sounds like, because so when we're born, we're assigned spirit guides. I've seen anywhere from 3 to 10. I mean, like when I saw somebody with 10, I was like, motherfucker, like that's a lot of people. but because you're assigned those and you have them till you die. And then as you go throughout your life and you lose people, some of them become spirit guides for you as well. Some of them are just there and they visit, but some are actually guides for you. And when people hear spirit guides, they always think, well, they're here to guide me. That's not always the case. Sometimes they're assigned to you, or they become your spirit guide because there's something you have to teach them. You are kind of their guide. And then they always think also that they're good. No, they're not. I've ran into more than my fair share that are dicks. And I mean, I've had to tell somebody like, hey, you're going to have to talk to this person and tell them to chill the fuck out, because
for sure
they're fucking with your marriage. They're fucking with your school. They're not always good. You know,
my mom, like, definitely, I think there was a bunch of, she was just, you could see like evil, or you could just say somebody who's like really fucked up, where there was like trauma or something that the family like never talked about, right? And so I never saw her a day sober, and she had Wernicke's-Korsakoff psychosis, or wet brain, from drinking. She ended up dying from lung cancer, but she was just like this, like, horrific at times. Like, the abuse was insane, and she was almost like not a person. But then at the same time, you know, she's my mom, so I love her, but she had issues for sure. Like, there was definitely undiagnosed mental illness that she used the drinking, I think, to cope. Like, all of them were alcoholics. Only one's alive. Both her brothers died, which the last ancestor reading you did for me, I believe, was my uncle Phil. Like, the greaser look, everything like that was him.
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah. But this sounds like my mom, which of course she's still here with me.
Well, what's funny is, remember how I said like that third one, like all the cards was flinging cards out, like me. This one I had a hard time drawing cards for. I had to shuffle repeatedly to get cards come out. So it's almost like they didn't want you to know they were there. Yeah. That makes sense. So, because like I said, it's a lot of extremes back and forth. But with all of those anchor cards at the beginning, being addicted and having memory problems and not being able to help themselves or anybody else, and then being very secret, you know what I mean? Like that, and then the fire being upside down, and then also having a card signifying grounding. Like, there's a lot of water here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So out of 9 cards, 6 of them have water. So that to me signifies, and especially because I look at that, and then I look at the way that the cards are in general. Like, if they were all upright, I'd be like, this person really, really went with the flow. They were able to go about things. This signifies someone grounded to me, because just under everything, under the weight of everything, even themselves, because they're all upside down. Only one of the water cards is not upside down. So 2, I lied, 2, but still 2 out of 6, that's a lot. So there's a lot of just drowning. So part of why she's a spirit guide is because she's got to learn to let go of and heal some of that traumatic experience. And I don't think she's going to, I just don't see it.
No. Like, they always say, like, people can get better. I've always said, like, no. Some people just don't. Or spirits. So
and that's something, it's funny you say that. I have to tell people that all the time. Like, you can only help someone so much. If they don't want to help themselves, they're not going to change. They're not going to get better. They might say they want to, but it's like you can lead a horse to water. You know what I mean? Like, you can't force a horse to drink water if it doesn't want to drink water. It's like you can't force a person to heal if they don't want to heal. And so she's not ready to let go of this. So what sucks about it is, with her not being ready to let go of it and heal, she's gonna be stuck being a spirit guide again until she is. because it's a cycle. And when you're a spirit guide for somebody, whether you know them or you're assigned to them, when you're a spirit guide, if you don't, because everybody has things they have to teach the person and things they have to learn. If you don't learn your lesson with it, then you get to repeat that. Just like if you have a life where you have all these things you have to learn and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Guess what? You're going to live that shit life again until you overcome those things. That's where she's going to be at. So good news for your soul is that you probably will not have her in your next life because she
really
is a spirit guide.
Cool.
So the fact that she's a spirit guide for you tells me that your souls are tied together. So
yeah,
I mean, you may get a break unless something miraculous happens and she does learn in the rest of your life. But I don't see that happening. Actually, I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
For sure.
So I don't know if I should say I'm sorry or congratulations that you have your next life is free of that. I don't know. I take that however you want.
I mean, I'm gonna try to take it the positive and just like I get a break next life.
So I was like, let me just give you both of them and you can decide what you
want.
I'm
gonna go with like next life. Awesome. Super great. Cool. No, I just feel like that. Yeah, like our souls are connected and it's fucked. But I mean, yeah, she's an intense person.
Yeah, when somebody shows up as a spirit guide for somebody else, there's a reason. It's not just they're here visiting. So, they come and say hi, because everybody that passes away, they can come back and say hi and whatever, give messages, visit, but it's not like it is when you're a spirit guide, because when you're a spirit guide, you're there all the time. So, yeah, she didn't really want to let me know that she was there. Like it was kind of like pulling teeth to get her to draw cards. Yeah. But I see why. I mean, I see why. So. Okay, well, this one's causing you some issues. Okay. Okay. So this one's just one you were assigned, but this one's causing you some fucking issues. Like, okay. So let me send you this one. Oh, phone. I even restarted your ass. Like, I don't know what you're doing right now. This phone is not old. Like, I haven't even had it a year. It's a brand new damn rah, rah, rah. Okay. So this one's another woman, but what's interesting about this one, the 3 cards right at the beginning are atonement, sacrifice, and the martyr card. And the martyr is sideways, and they're all warrior cards. And this is someone that has taken that warrior mantle on so hardcore that they didn't learn anything they were supposed to learn.
God.
So their anchor card for this life is the Earth Keeper upside down. And then they have adventures kind of upside down and whopper jaw. Like you'll see, whenever you look at the pictures and you're re-listening to this and looking at the pictures. And then they drew 2 cards out of my Celtic deck. And one is connection upside down, divine connection upside down. And the other is freedom. It's like, no, okay. I don't care that this is going to happen. I'm going to do what I want to do. But what's funny about it is then they have the pentagram, which is protection. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, how can you be this way and be protected at the same time? But then they have offerings upside down, and then they have the take action card at the end. I'm like, oh my God, like this is just so much energy. Just so when I say causing you problems, it's causing you problems now. When you were younger, this one right here saved you. Let me put it that way. Okay. And you'll see why when I say this next part, because this person right here, she is so fucking strong that the harder things got, the more strong she got. Like,
that was my grandma for sure.
Like, fuck you. I'm not going to let this break me. I'm not going to let this happen to me. Like, this is not someone who my hair just stood on end when you said that. this is not someone that you really wanted to fuck with. It's not someone you wanted mad at you. Like if you told her you can't do something, not only would she do it, but she would excel at it. She would rub it in your face, and then she would cha-cha on you with it. Like, look at what I fucking did.
I feel like it might be my grandmother, like my dad's. She died like a couple years ago. She was like 96. She was super strong. Yeah.
Well,
So
this
like
one here though, this one you've had your whole life. Like, it's not somebody you knew, but I'm wondering if maybe she wasn't with both of you then.
Well, I've always been really connected to, and my great grandmother, my dad's grandmother, she was born in 1899 and died in 1932, I think, of pneumonia. And she was the one who was part Tiwa, and she lived on the Taos Pueblo in New Mexico. Her name was Josefina. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've been like obsessed with her. Like, I've researched her, and I just feel like I'm super connected to her, even though she died like
way before your birth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to show you the first two cards just because the way that they look together is just really badass.
Nice. Yeah, that has to be her.
So yeah. But like I said, I mean, this lady is so fucking hard-headed. Like, she didn't learn her lessons in her last life because she was so determined to prove people wrong that she didn't follow her path. Like, she didn't follow her path at all. She's very connected, an amazing healer, things like that, but was so determined to prove people wrong that she missed that connection she had. She just missed it. But like I said, when you were younger, this one right here, I have a feeling this has been your main spirit guide throughout your life, because this is just so much raw energy and power. Wow, what the fuck? Okay, I gotta point this out too. This card is number 18. This card is number 18, and this card is number 18. Three separate decks. And you have another 8 here too. So now I gotta look up what the number 18 is. This is why I'm like, man, this is when I need to be a numerologist.
Yeah.
Itself is infinity.
Wow.
But 18 is encouragement. 18 is also positivity. To someone who's going to be very successful. Like, it's all success and money and so on. So, okay. I mean, I'll take it. But I don't know, that just because I noticed like 2 of these cards were 18 literally right next to each other. So I'm like, okay, like that's interesting. And they're like that, one is upside down. And then I'm like, wait, that is 18. And there's another 8. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Okay, cool. All right then. So you're going to be successful no matter what, because she's not going to let you not be successful. I mean, she's just not. So yeah, she's been your main spirit guide. I have a feeling she probably pushed that first one to pop up.
Really?
Like, nope, you're gonna, that parent, grandparent, whatever, that's like, oh no, you took a piece of gum, you're gonna march right in there and say you're sorry, and like, that's this person. So that's kind of how I feel with that first one, because like, I could tell, like, it was so hard to pull cards. So the fact that you have this one next, this is like, no, you're going to say you're here and you're going first. So yeah, she kind of rules the roost here. But like I said, when you were younger, it helped you. It benefited you greatly. It kept you going. It kept you moving forward. But now it causes you problems because you've now learned to be that way, and you've been addicted to being that way. And so it's hard for you to take a breath. It's hard for you to step back from things. It's hard for you to not take action on anything that hits you wrong or hits you right. So yeah, you may have to have just a tiny chat with her. But you're gonna have to word your words carefully.
All right.
Because this is not one you're like, look, dude, you're gonna have to calm the fuck down.
Okay.
She's really awesome though. I mean, she's amazingly strong, and amazingly protected as well, which means you're protected in anything you do.
Cool.
So that's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. The numbers are cracking me up lately. I'm like, okay, all right. All right. Pain in the ass, throwing cards at me. Let's go. Let's see what you are. When they're pushy, I'm always like, okay. See, I'm kind of like her.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're not telling me what to do right now. Like,
yeah.
These are my cards, bitch. Like, oh, and I'm gonna have to lay these weird. Okay. Oh, well, her first card is the control card. Okay, I got you. I got you. That's funny and not funny at the same time. Okay. Let me send this one to you.
Where are you sending them to? Is it?
It goes to. Let me look. Let me go back here and look. It's whatever email you signed up for the site with, like where you get,
Right.
yeah. So that's where they go to. So you'll have 3 different emails.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And I did halfway clean off my desk. So, man, this one's very, very strong as well. I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious that it was like throwing cards at me. Like, I'm like, no, me first. And then literally the first card is the control card. Like, I think that is fucking hilarious. But so the next card is completion and support. But then the 2 shadow work cards for this one are sideways. And it's Triumph of Lies and Bride in a Cage. So they're trying to overcome. They're trying to overcome both some things about themselves and locking. It's almost like locking themselves in a role. Like they can't get away from it. So similar to the lady we just talked about, but not quite. This one is very similar to that other lady, but not as hard-headed. Like I can learn from my mistakes, but she has the Earth card upside down and then pleasure and responsibility upside down. But then she has the Banshee and ceremony. And then her last card is speak your truth. So with her, she did learn a little bit in her past life and the life before this. She has been learning a little bit now with speaking up for herself and so on. Whereas the control is one thing and wanting to control the situation is one thing, but actually speaking up for yourself and speaking your own truth, that's a completely different thing. You can be in control and want to be controlling and not acknowledge some of your own personal shit. So she did do some of that and she's starting to do a lot of it. So I have a feeling that she's with you. She's with you a lot. Let's just say this. You doing what you do is actually helping her move forward.
Really? That's cool.
So you're helping people here, but you're also helping her. Because she was not a nice person. That she was very hedonistic, very, well, I'm going to do this because it makes me feel good and I don't care what you say. Shucked off a lot of responsibility and then screeched about it. But what's funny was very, very rigid and ritualistic in how she accomplished things, the control aspect. She was very solid, and this is how I do this. But so I'm almost taking this as in like outside the home, but inside the home is very, very hedonistic, very, whatever makes me happy is what's going to happen. The banshee there tells me that she also was a very good emotional manipulator, because she was able to screech and scream and get her way, either to control or to deflect. So there's a lot of truths that she still has to overcome. I'm trying to see if this is one that's been with you the whole time, or if this is somebody you've gained along the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who that is. Like, and maybe I just don't.
If this is somebody you gained along the way, I don't think you knew them very well, because usually when it's somebody you knew, that they knew you, they show me at least something. They show me at least something, or they give the person when I'm describing them, they'll give you that feeling in your gut, like, oh my God, like you instantly know who somebody is. But with this one, it's, if you knew this person, and she's absolutely kind of controlling what I see and what I don't. And I'm like, no, that's not the way this works right now. Like, but I'm kind of letting her have it just to show me what she wants. But because she knows what she has to learn. She knows what she has to overcome. It's just her soul is very set in this pattern. But, and I'm going to say it out loud to hope that maybe she shows me something else, but seeing the cards the way they are and seeing how set she is control wise and so on, but seeing some of these other things, I'm actually kind of proud of her for realizing I do need to learn these things, and this is how I've been acting. You know what I mean? Like, she understands, she knows. So in listening to you talk to people on a daily basis, she's really, it's like it's almost like I can see it going like this and processing. It's interesting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, but you don't know, like, if she's been here with me, like, for a while.
She's been here for a while. She's been here for a while, but I'm kind of thinking it's probably one you were born with, and she just doesn't want to give me that yet. What's even funnier about all of this is there's a lot of ones. Almost all the cards in this have a number 1 in them, and it's really funny. I'm like, I get it. I get it. You're in control. You're number 1. But I also find it very interesting. This just stuck. It's been sticking out to me, that responsibility card being upside down is something that she's still learning. Ooh, there's my first yawn. It's something that she's still learning. So I love that. I love that she's learning from you how to heal her own self and how to take responsibility for some things. She's also driving you spiritually.
Nice. I never thought I'd do therapy for my spirit guides. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's just a byproduct. It's just a side effect. But I mean, okay, so I love this shirt and I hate it at the same time, because anytime I move, like the sleeves go up and I have like bigger upper arms, and I'm like, look, like you can't do that because then I can't move and you're in my armpit, pissing me off. So what are you doing with your life right now? See, it fits with literally almost everything. What are you doing with your life right now? Oh, what was I saying now? Oh, okay. So when things are like a cycle, so it's like a 4 points on a wheel. So when you're alive, you go through that life, and then when you pass away into this part right here, you're debriefing. You're like, oh, okay, I learned this, but I didn't learn all of these things, or I learned all of these and I just have one, or whatever. And so once you get to here and you've gone through everything in process, you're assigned to be a spirit guide for somebody else. And then you get briefed on their life. Like, okay, this is what they have to learn. And this is what you have to learn, or whatever. So they already know when they become a spirit guide, this is what I have to do. So then you're a spirit guide for that person. And when that person passes away, you get debriefed on that. I mean, it's literally like a military procedure here.
Yeah.
And then you get to choose, like, okay, here's the things you still need to learn or still need to accomplish for your soul. Here are the lives you can choose from, and you get briefed on it. So that's one thing that I love about people becoming more awake, is that when we're babies, when we're little bitty, we still remember our last life. We remember that in between. Yeah. And so that's why kids have this great, fabulous imagination, and why they know things and see things. And so many people have been, we are finally getting back to a point spiritually where we were around the turn of the century. Like, people have always been way more spiritual and understood this. And then whatever happened was like, oh no, that's stupid, or you just have a great imagination, or don't say that. So people stop. And so now people are starting to make sure that when their kids are talking about these things, encourage you, like, what else do you remember? What? And so all that to say that she knows what she has to learn. She's a very intelligent lady. She's a very, very smart lady. So it's funny that in just looking at these cards and getting that feel from her, she's really molded who you are a lot. She really has. She's very focused, very determined, very, very smart, very intelligent, very analytical. She can see weakness in somebody fucking 50 miles away.
Cool.
She just used to exploit it. Whereas you're like, I can fix that. She wants to exploit it. So that's something she has to learn as well. But what's funny is she has a pretty good sense of humor. Like, she knows, she jokes about her shit. She owns it, but it's like, okay, now fix it. So yeah. So she's a very interesting lady. I also find it interesting that both of these last two had a lot of like, all the cards, the only card in this thing right here, and you'll see when you look at the picture, this is the only bright card in here. All of the rest of them,
they're all dark.
Yeah, they're all dark. And I mean, with the other one too, hers were pretty dark as well. So if I had to give you something to associate with both of them, with this one right here, there's a lot of turquoise, like that deep dark turquoise in her cards. So I would say that would be the color to associate with her, because literally there's only a couple cards that don't have that color in it. Like my business cards are like that color. Like, that's the color I would associate with her, is like that darker turquoise color. With the other one, I would say more of a maroon.
The first one, my mom.
No, the second one.
Oh, the second one. Okay.
Yeah. The first one, you know who that is. So I'm trying to give you something like to help you determine, like, if you're trying to talk to them, or because that's the whole point in learning who some of them are, is to be able to talk to them. Like that second lady, especially, with like, look, I need you to back the fuck off right now. And so you don't want to say that to all of them, but at least having a color or something to associate with them. So when you're talking to them, you can say, okay, look, I only want to talk to you right now, not anybody else. I'll talk to the rest of you later. Because you can leave yourself open to talk to them in your sleep, because your mind's more open. It's easier for them to talk to you in that realm, but you have to set very, very clear boundaries on it with, I'm only going to talk to you. I'm not, I will talk to the rest of you later, but right now we need to address some shit. Like we need to have a chit chat.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I've always had really, really intense dreams, and I've suffered with night terrors like as long as I could remember. And that's something I do want to thank you with. So since I had like the black horse, like I don't have nightmares. And there were a lot of times like my mom trying to murder me or just like very random like things, and that's stopped. And so thank you.
That makes me so happy. Cool.
Like I don't dread going to sleep. So I'm like,
yeah. Well, hey, April, before we send out Ashley's last box, remind me to put a jar in there for her. Okay. She's like, what? I'm going to send you a sleep protection jar as well.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. All you do is you just stick it beside your bed. So, but I will say, if you go on vacation or anything, I learned this the hard way. If you go on vacation or anything, take them with you. Because, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't do what Fanny did. Don't recommend it. So, yeah. Because it will hit you very hard while you're trying to relax on vacation, and you'll be like, what the fuck? So, yeah, don't do that. But yeah, I'll make you up a special little sleep jar to put beside your bed that will help with some of that. And also help with you being able to work through some things in your sleep, especially with these two ladies. Because in being able to work through some things and lucid dream and help them and help you at the same time. So
okay. Did you say beside my bed or under it?
Just beside it.
Okay.
Or I mean, even just in your room. Okay. So I put mine beside, even though I mean, nobody sleeps with me, but I put it beside my side of the bed. Because even if you sleep alone, you're like, you have your side.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'll put it like my altar's right next to my bed where I have all my stones and stuff. So I'll just do that.
Yeah. Mine is as well. So
yeah.
So I'm trying to decide if I want to make it or just send you the stuff and let you make it and put your own intentions into it. Because I don't know how it will. If I pack it tight enough, it won't shift a lot during shipping. Like I'm going back and forth. So I'll let you know which way I decide to go.
Okay. Yeah.
But because sometimes also you putting your intention into it is a good thing, but I don't know. I'm going back. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
I feel like it would be cool if you did it, but I'll trust your opinion.
Well, with the sleep protection jars, I always put them together for someone. I've never done them where I didn't. So I'm just, and that's probably what I will do. And I'll just have to pack it tight. I'll just have to pack it tight so it doesn't shift, because I put herbs and stones, and not that it matters. And it's not even one of the ones that like, this one kind of, so like this one, see how it's layered? Like I couldn't ship that. So like those ones I send to somebody as a kit, but yeah, because it would shift and it would look like shit. I'm like, that's not the point. Part of the point is for it to look nice, but yeah, this one, it doesn't really matter. So I will probably make it and just pack it really tight. So yeah. All right. Let me turn this off. So